Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing good, people. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. It'd be very kind of you, wouldn't it? Be very, very kind of you. Now, guys, look, you know what? Mad week, hasn't it? It's been a mad week. Everyone's fighting each other. You know, about a player staying out of the football club. We've got so much news going on, and Mbeumo news, of course, going on as well. And Man United targeting a forgotten man in regards to the striking capacity. And also, we'll talk about, this new player that Man United are after in South America. Guys, let's get onto it. Firstly, let's talk about Mbeumo. Mbeumo transfer talks have begun. But it is rumoured that Brentford are very unhappy at the way Manchester United went about things. They're very unhappy that Man United made it public so soon and the PR circus around the Mbeumo deal. Obviously, the Mbeumo stating that he wants to go to Manchester United. Brentford feel that this was disrespectful to the football club and are not happy about this situation. Now, the deal is still expected to go through as usual, but Brentford could quite easily play hardball. They could quite easily play hardball and say, look, you know what? You guys, you spread, you went on your PR campaign. You shouldn't have done that. We're going to rinse you for every penny. And you know what? This is the problem with some transfers these days, especially when it comes to Manchester United. The rumors that start circulating before the transfers even happen. I understand that somewhat, but at the end of it, you can't help it. It's Man United. It's Man United, As soon as you get an inkling of something that's going to happen, players get excited. I'm going to go to Man United. And subject to popular belief, people think Man United are finished. Man United don't have that ball anymore. It's quite obvious because obviously Mbeumo wants to come to Manchester United. He wants to. And he's obviously shouted it from the rooftops. Brentford are not too happy about that. But I don't really care about what Brentford want. But the only problem is that Brentford might play hardball, but it's still expected that the deal should go through as usual. Player wants to leave. Personal terms shouldn't be a problem. Just the transfer fee now. It's expected Man United should do a deal between 50 and 60 million, which will be great for Manchester United, of course, guys. And, what we have to do, it's a little bit about respect, isn't it? It's a bit about respect in regards to these transfers. It's about respecting the player, respecting the football club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And Vesh, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Sanjay in the house. Good to see you. Miss whoever, good to see you, mate. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Yo, Anvesh, big up, everyone. Guys, subscribe and like. Thank you so much, Anvesh. Thank you so much. MEFC forever. Thank you so much, my friend. Morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. Good to see Randall. Good to see you, mate. Good morning, Chow. Hope you're doing well. I don't want another PSG reject. Wow. You know what, Chow? I think it's a little bit unfortunate. Greetings, Stretford Post from Cape Town. Big up South Africa. Hope you're all doing well down there. My friend, Mr. Bruno, as our captain again in the coming season. Afro Soup, thank you so much. Big up Afro Soup. Paul, good morning. So everyone watching on the opposition fans meltdown. It's fun. It is fun. You know what? It is fun. It's like old days, isn't it? It's like old days. I think all the Brentford unhappy news might just be a tactic and deal could still be around 55. Yeah, it will still be around that much, hopefully. I don't think Man United are going to pay more than that. And Vish, good morning, bro. Hope you're doing. Good morning, Zizou. Zinedine Zidane, the Zizou. Big up yourself. Good morning, Sal. Why are people moaning about Bruno Fernandes? Move on. Look, I'm going to come into that. Whatever it is, man, Mbeumo transfer, if the 55 million is like 1/3 of their annual revenue for Brentford, yeah. I mean, I think they were a little bit unhappy about what happened. I mean, obviously, airing your dirty laundry and stuff like that. They shouldn't make it too difficult for us. They could. The problem is that they feel disrespected by the way Man United have gone about things with the PR campaign and stuff like that. And Mbeumo, of course, wants to come to Man United. They can't stop that deal. But what can Brentford do? Brentford could play hardball, but ultimately they can't charge too much for him because now what has happened is that now Mbeumo said he wants to go to Manchester United. Now that is, you can't really go back on that in regards to Brentford. They can't keep him. They have to sell him. So they're going to have to sell him at a realistic price. But obviously, it is all about respect. But football doesn't deal with respect, does it? At the end of the day, when has it ever dealt with respect? Especially recently, of course. Boom, 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 and Mbeumo in the room. Big up, my friend. How you doing, my friend? You keep putting that song in my head. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. No. No, we're not doing that one. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. That's some next stuff, Kenny. You know what I mean? We're not going to use that one because that actually had that song by the Venga Boys, by the way, has a different meaning. You know what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. You're my love. You're my sweetest. Oh, no. Yeah, we're not going to go into that, guys. Absolutely not. But big up, Kenny. Hope you're doing well, guys. Absolutely. Now, look, I'm going to bring in the Bruno situation, guys. We have to buy Bremen now. We have to sign strikers. Absolutely. Come on, Sal. What's the issue with Mateta and Bremo in the room, mate? I don't know, mate. What's all this room business, mate? I don't know what's going on with all these people want who in the room. You know what I mean? Because that song goes, boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room and spend the night together from now until forever. Now, that is a little bit, you know, suggestive in regards to that. No, it's 2025. I don't mind. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with me. But, you know, what I would say is that, yeah, that song is a little bit suggestive. I don't know. Maybe it's your thing. Good morning. Good morning, Darren. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're well. Good to see you, Anvesh. I can't really see the Man United faithful saying boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Because when I hear that song, I see that girl from the Finger Boys going boom, 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 boom. You know, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Come on, guys. Madness. I'm in the wrong chat. Absolutely, mate. Big up, Darren. Big up, mate. Now, let's get into Bruno's situation, guys. I know a lot of people wanted Bruno to go. I know a lot of people wanted Bruno to stay. Look, I'm caught in the middle with this. I understand why people wanted Bruno to go, and I understand why people want Bruno to stay. My main, obviously, issue is if that money won't become available anymore and Man United won't be able to do the signings and the rebuild that we want. Reality is 100 million and a rebuild is more valuable than Bruno Fernandes at this moment in time, unfortunately. As anyone wants to look at it, we could bet 2-3 players in to do a rebuild if it is done right. But many terrible things have happened to this football club in its history. Where we've had adversity, you know, we've had, a tragedy in our football club. And, you know, keeping a player that openly loves the club, right, loves the club and wants to stay at the football club is not a tragedy, right? He may not fit certain people's idea of what we want Man United to do. But look, let's see what happens. We get Cunha and Mbeumo. We're going to play probably Bruno as the number 8. So let's just see what happens in regards to that. I had my reservations about Bruno playing in that number 8 position. I don't think he should be playing in that number 8. I think he's a number 10. But let's just see what happens, guys. You know, he gives his all for Manchester United. He loves Manchester United. So let him just carry on. Okay, I know he's, you know, a lot of people wanted him gone, but I don't know what the big commotion is, the arguments are. The one thing I won't do, though, and I will never do, is overhype players. I don't overhype players. I've seen some great players at this football club. I will never overhype them and you know what, call them certain names in regards to legendary status. I wouldn't do that. But what I would do is that I would praise a player when they give 100%. I'll always praise that player. I will always praise them, and I'll always say that, you know what, they give 100% to the club, they love the club, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day. You know, all this hatred and abuse, I think is absolutely awful. I've seen abuse about his family and things like that. I think this is absolutely terrible, and they're not Man United fans for me. You know, regardless what you want, right? You can't always get what you want. At the end of the day, it is a human being we're talking about, a human being who didn't want to go somewhere, you know, and that is just the way it is, guys. That's the way cookie crumbles, and we have to move on from it. We're Manchester United, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we treat our own with respect, you know, and that's what I would say. Regardless of what you want, whether I wanted this or you wanted this, you have to show respect, guys. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, let's read some of your comments. Natty. Is it true Amarim is speaking to Gyökeres now? I mean, it is true that Man United are. It's no secret that Man United are interested in Gyökeres. At the moment, it looks, it's hard to say because Gyökeres is on holiday. So when Gyökeres comes back from holiday, he will make his decision. He has already hinted that he's not going to go to Man United. He's already hinted that. There is also rumors about he's been speaking to Ruben Amorim, and also rumors that we've had a gentleman agreement with him. Now, it's all up in the air. And when he comes back from holiday, then we're going to make a firm judgment on where he wants to go. I really believe that if we sign Mbeumo and we sign Cunha and we sign Gutierrez, I honestly think you're going to see a different Manchester United next season. Bruno or no Bruno, you're going to see a different Manchester United next season, and you will see an attacking power that you won't have seen at Man United for a very long time. The problem is that, Gutierrez obviously wants his Champions League football. He wants to play Champions League football. He wants to play in the Champions League. That's fair enough, and if we don't want to, the one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to be spending time on this. We don't want to be spending a month on trying to, chase Gutierrez. We need to work the team. We need to get this team ready, etc., as we are saying, and we can't waste any more time. This rebuild is going to take time, of course. Sal in Wilding again this morning. Bigger Anvesh, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I'm Wilding again. I'm Wilding, guys. 45 minutes should be good enough for Mbeumo from Brentford. Palace should be happy to take 120 million and sales Mateta 2 or 3 players, and from the club that is the war chest. Palace also should be happy to make 100 and 120 from sales. Mateta, 2-3 other players. Guys, look, you know what? I do think Man United need another midfielder. I think Adam Wharton, from Crystal Palace, and Mateta are a possibility. 45 million for Mbeumo. It might be 45 million, but we'd be very lucky to get it at that price. If we do, there will be incentives that will go up to 60 million. Of course, Man United are not going to do the deal straight up. Man United are going to do the deal in installments. This is where we are at the moment, so it will cost a little bit more money on interest as well. Natty, we do not spend money is Bruno's problem, the owner's problem. Yeah, it is. It is at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it is the owner's problem. But at the same time, you got to look at it from the fact is that it is what it is. And we wanted to make that 100 million. We can't make that 100 million now. Bruno is 31. Right? When Alex Ferguson was manager, Alex Ferguson wouldn't keep players over 31. Apart from Ryan Giggs, he wouldn't keep players over 31, and he would religiously not play players over 31 because he believes in energy, he believes in the speed of the game and stuff like that. So it is a double-edged sword, and it isn't his fault. But it is his fault he rejected the 100 million, for Man United. But at the end of the day, you can't force a player through the door. But one thing we have to do is be classy, regardless of what we want. We can't be. I've seen a lot of slanderous things online this last 24 hours. It's been absolutely disgusting what I've seen. But that's just the way it is. We move on. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, the thing with me, right, we have to look at it like this. On a Manchester United, I've witnessed every single trophy at Man United. 13 league titles, 2 European Cups. I know the standards at Manchester United, right? I know it's not just Bruno's fault, but Bruno is part of that ship. He's the captain of it, and he's played almost every game. In fact, he played every game apart from one, I think. So at the end of the day, he's got a big responsibility for what happened last season. Now, people were bringing in to me about, Man United, certain players, they didn't turn up in the 2009 and 2010 2011 Champions League final against Barcelona, so blah, 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 all that malarkey. Well, we were playing the best team in the world at the time, and we were an aging team, and so was Paul Scholes and stuff like that. Bruno went missing against the worst Tottenham team in all time. Great players showed themselves in big games. And I think an ex-footballer said, John O'Kane said it, great players showed themselves in big games. Now, I don't want to hear any excuses next season, because at the end of the day, we're not talking about a serial winner here. We're talking about the captain of the worst Manchester United team of all time. Do you think Roy Keane would allow these standards? Vidic, Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Schmeichel? You think they'll allow these standards? Now, you know what? Our standards needs to up, and that starts from the captain and the dressing room, in my opinion. Anvish. But we also always read the line. He has said that he wants to stay in Europe to compete with trophies. Guess if PSG Madrid come on offer decent money, he might consider it. Yeah, probably. But they won't pay that money, unfortunately. Let me see here forever. Brentford not happy, but why all the deal are online? Brentford is nothing special or secret club that their deal will be not in the line. It's all about respect, isn't it? They didn't like the way it's been gone all around the media and gone all around the airwaves. It's quite obvious and fair enough in Brentford that they're unhappy about that. They're unhappy about that. I understand that. I understand that we're happy. He's Brentford's player. You know what I mean? He's Brentford's player. Rumors are something, but the rumors, the way they spread around, like he's already signed for Manchester United. You know, it was like that. I want to come to Manchester United. You have to show respect in this game. You know, you have to. And obviously now Brentford feel aggrieved, but it's not going to change the deal. But obviously, Man United, we're classy. I would urge every single person, especially from India and places like that, to go and research Man United, what we're about. You know, because there's a lot of people who live abroad who don't really understand what we're about. They just think football. That's it. We are about something far more. You know what I mean? And when I grew up in London and when I first started supporting this football club, I researched the football club. I understood about the standards of the football club. Why, under Sir Alex Ferguson, we always came in a suit. Why? You know, why we didn't let our standards slip every single game. You know, so this is the whole point of it. And I understand Brenton's point of view. You know, we live in a different day and age, but I understand Brenton's point of view and what they're saying at the end of the day. Whether they're big or not, whether Brentford are a big club or small club, it doesn't matter. Big up, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, brother. Hope you're well. Fingers crossed for Mbeumo. Let's hope we pull it off. Yes, the money should have been great. Fair play to Bruno for wanting to stay. Smash the like button. Big up, Grayo. Hope you're doing well. Absolutely. Roy Michael, big up. Good morning, Sal, and everyone. God bless the guys and prayers. Big up, Roy Michael. Hope you're doing well. Have a good day. Thank you so much, Grayo. Absolutely big up. Thank you, guys. Let's get to 50 likes, guys. Let's do this, guys. Get to 50 likes. My preferred choice of striker is HITMAN. I got you, Ambish. I got you. Can we match them both together? Now, guys, let's get into this in regards to the United offered PSG hitman Gonçalo Ramos. You remember that name of Gonçalo Ramos? Manchester United have been offered the opportunity to sign Gonçalo Ramos, guys, in this window. The problem with Gonçalo Ramos, he is valued at 40 million euros. His contract expires in 2028. He's a very prolific player. He's not a reject, as some people are saying. He's got 9 goals in 15 appearances for Portugal, right? For Portugal, right? He's almost got as much as Sesko has got in the Bundesliga this season in 33 games. So he's got 9 goals for Portugal. 40 million valued. The reason he doesn't play so much is because the way that PSG are as their first team doesn't mean he's a bad player. Man United are 68% the most likely to sign Gonçalo Ramos. Look, he's a very good player. You know, sometimes you don't find your home. Sometimes you find your home. Sometimes you don't find your home. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And a bit like what Eric Cantona did. When Eric Cantona, he went to Leeds, he went to Sheffield Wednesday. He didn't quite fit in there. And then when he came to Man United, obviously, we all know what happened, of course. 52% chance he might go to Liverpool. You know, Newcastle, 65%, second choice in regards to that. But Man United are still slight favourites on 68% for him to go to Manchester United. He is a centre forward, Portuguese international. Very, very good player, guys. And you know what? I wouldn't downplay that signing at all. I would take that signing in regards to, third in regards to Gutierrez, Osimhen, and Gonçalo Ramos. Obviously, Mitrovic after that, and then you obviously get Osimhen, and then you get Abraham, and you get all these players as well. So that's what I would do. Asif, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Morning, sir. We see been 100 million view, but was it even a point to discuss if the Glazers were serious and faithful owners? Glazers made what we are. Remember when Rooney and De Gea stayed? Yeah, I do. But at that present time, Man United, had no one else. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Man United didn't require a rebuild, Asif. At that present time, Man United were champions. You know what I mean? Man United didn't need a rebuild. We were champions with Alex Ferguson. So that was important. And comparing Rooney with Bruno is ridiculous because Rooney's a proper legend of Manchester United. Highest score of all time. You know, it was a highest score at England, highest score at Man United, at the end of the day. What I would say, and people with the smart, who don't look at football with players. And I know, Asif, you love Bruno. You've told me months ago you love him and you this and that. What I would say is that, we have to look at things from the point of view of Manchester United, and what is good for Manchester United. Is it good for Manchester United's rebuild? I don't know, because I don't know if they're still going to spend money on a striker. I don't know if they're still going to spend, money on another attacker. We haven't got Mbeumo through the door yet, so let's wait and see. What I don't like is people who abuse players, people who slander players, people who've been calling his family all sorts of names. You know, I hate this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, he gives his all for Manchester United. He's always given his all for Man United. No, a lot of times he's not been good enough. That's why he went missing in the Europa League final against the worst Tottenham team of all time, right? Rooney wouldn't have went missing in that game. Right, that is one thing I would say. You know, I hate the abuse. You can have your opinion. Opinions are subjective. Football's subjective. We have to look at the facts. I look at the facts. I always look at the facts. I don't look at what he looks like, what his wife does, what his wife wants. I look at the facts and I look at our past and I look at it and I think, are we living up to that? Is he at the level of a Roy Keane captain? I don't think so, right? So at the end of the day, I think the captaincy should remove from Bruno. I think he'd be a better player for it. I don't think he's a captain. I think that a captain should be someone who keeps cool on the pitch. I don't think that. In regards to his talent, he's a very talented player. That's why Portugal keep calling him up. And so I would just say that. And I look at things from all points of view. I don't just look at it from one point of view and say, this is my point. I like this player. I don't care what anyone says, even if he's been shit, which he has been. Apart from when Roy Keane, you know, criticised him. Now, you can throw the stats at me and stuff like that. If you're shooting 100 times a game, you're going to get stats. If you're taking penalties, you're going to get stats, just like Harry Kane does. You know, and that's what I would say. And that is looking at things from all levels of it. That is like a smart point of view of football as a whole. You know, we're Manchester United, not Bruno, you know. But as Manchester United, we have to respect our own as well. And I will always respect our own. Now, for me, it's over. For me, Bruno stays, we support Bruno. Rasmus stays, we support Rasmus. And this is how it goes, you know. But putting the players ahead of the football club is what I will never do. You know, I will never put the players over the football club. If Rasmus has been playing shit at 22, 23 years old, I'm going to say Rasmus has been shit. And that is just the way life is. And that's the way, as me, a guy brought up in the East End of London to be working with platinum selling artists, you think I would know a little bit about life and things like that and about what we should do. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I would say that be subjective, be fair, be critical constructively. All right? But also be critical in yourself and your own views and your own point of views, because that is what should happen in football. Big up, Natty. How you doing? Big up, Baz. What's going on? Good morning, Baz. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I see Rumour Mateta said he's staying. Probably is. I mean, we're after a number of strikers at the moment. But Labour or Walton, both. I say Walton for me. Clubs are going to demand a ridiculous amount of money. That's the issue. I think we might not even get one this summer. We'll have to wait and see, Anvish. What we think doesn't necessarily mean what we get. Baz, Bruno can relax and concentrate on one per position and better players around him. Let's hope so, Baz. Let's hope so. Great players shouldn't need players around them. Guys, Asif, the way the transfer is shaping out, it looks like it's going to be a long saga. Brentford's asking price. Yeah, Brentford. I mean, Man United are not going to go after over 60. I think Asif. I think Man United are going to go 55. 50, 55 with incentives. We're not going to pay the money out front. Absolutely. We're not going to pay the money up front. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Man United are going to do an installment plan, but we'll have to wait and see. Noru, what's going on? Do you think Mainu will be sold now that Bruno is staying? I wouldn't put it against anyone. Mainu has rejected a contract offer at Manchester United. And there we go. You know, there we go. There's players like Bruno, right, who love this football club, who were not raised at this football club, right? We're not raised Manchester United fans. Then there's players like Mainu, who were raised Man United fans, not achieved much statistically and in regards to trophies, and want more money. Otherwise, they're leaving. You know, that is a type of culture, mercenary attitude that I want to get out of this football club. I really do, honestly. 62.5 million is apparently the man. Says Asif. Sal, do you rate Gonçalo Ramos? Yes, Natty. I do. I rate him. I rate Gonçalo Ramos. I think just because he's gone to PSG doesn't mean he's a bad player. Just because he hasn't played. I mean, he's got 9 goals for 15 appearances for Portugal. So just because he is a At the end of the day, on the bench, it doesn't mean that he's a bad player. Absolutely not. We all know about benches, don't we? Don't you think Sir Alex was retired knowing what was coming from the Glazers? I remember we won the 2012-2013 Premier League. We won most of the games with 1-goal margins. As if we had a poor season in regards to our performance-wise, but we got the points in the bag. I remember all sorts of games. I remember us beating Southampton after being 2-0 down, beating them 3-2. Man United got the results, and that was the most important thing. We weren't playing pretty football. Much prettier than now, by the way. Much prettier than now, but we weren't playing pretty football back then, but we won the league. Alex Ferguson knew it. He knew it. He could foresee it. He knew what was coming. But then again, you say Alex Ferguson was there 26 years. So as a person who's spoken to Alex in the past, I think he just needed a break. And that was pretty obvious. Obviously, he suffered the health scare a few years later, didn't he? So I would say that is a number of things. Man United required 100%. I think if he stayed Man United manager, he would have won more league titles, maybe even a couple of Champions League. Who knows? We would have won more, definitely. And I think if he did, but age catches up with all of us, unfortunately, my friend. Goals for George. Bruno should have learned to leave the stage when the ovation is loudest. Hang around too long and the hero can be viewed as a villain later. Hope he has made the right choice and good luck to him. Big up, George. Good comment. Absolutely. Morning. Good morning. What's going on, Ishmael? Hope you're doing well. Who is the Flamengo player we are after? Thank you so much, Ishmael, for bringing it in, my friend. Now, I spoke on this channel about a player a few months ago. Of course, the player, his name is Wesley. Wesley is a right wing back who currently plays for Flamengo. His contract expires 2028. His value is 15 million euros. So Man United could possibly get him for around 25 million euro with the Man United tats. Wesley is a very highly rated player. 2 caps for Brazil right now. So you know what? That is no mean feat, of course. I'm a big fan of this player. I'm a big fan of Vanderson as well. I think they're both very good players. But Wesley, the Brazilian international who currently plays for Flamengo, guys, is on Manchester United's radar. Now, guys, there is a stipulation to this. Zenit St. Petersburg of Russia have also put an offer in for Wesley. But Wesley has seen that Manchester United are interested in and is more interested in the move to Premier League with Manchester United. Although Manchester City are coming in with a side offer. Not yet, but they're also interested in Wesley. Now, this is what I talk about. You snooze, you lose. You snooze, you lose. If Man United want Wesley, his 15 million valuation, go and get the player. Don't hover around. Go and bloody get the player. A very good player. Something we need. Right midfield, right back. Could play the right wing back perfectly, guys. It's exactly what we need. We don't need Estupien. We don't need another left back. We've got Diego Leon. We've got Luke Shaw. We've got Malacia. We've got Dorgu. 4 left backs. We need a right back. We've only got Dalot, first team left back at the moment. So I think that's what Man United need to do, guys. Absolutely. Anvish, scared of taking another PSG player who's surplus the requirements. Plus, rumours came from Benfica as well. I'm not scared. I think he's a good player. I watch him all the time. Anvish is a very good player. Finisher. He's a finisher. Cantona find his home at Old Trafford? Absolutely, Darren. Spot on, mate. You have to find your home, don't you? And Ramos might find his home at Old Trafford, I prefer Matata than Ramos. The price is a lot more as well. Invisible, my friend. Big up, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Big up. Maybe we can get Ramos on loan. You never know. United should stop trying for PSG reject. He's not a reject. He's just on the bench, goals for George. That doesn't make him a reject. That doesn't make him a reject. He's on the bench. It's that PSG have got a fabulous team that they're working with. It doesn't mean that Gonçalo Ramos is a bad player, at the end of the day. Guys, absolutely. Negative George on the stream again, as usual. Good luck to Bruno, hoping to be proven wrong. There you go. Absolutely, guys. I mean, I don't think any of us have been proven wrong. We made a very valid point. I think a lot of people did. Okay, yes, brother. Fair play to Bruno for rejecting 65 million a year. Doesn't mean he wants to 700 grand getting. I mean, what I would say, Asif, is that his wife wanted to go to, didn't want to go to Saudi. This is why he rejected it, mate. Let's be real here. Let's not sugarcoat this a little bit. His wife. He also said if it was a European team, you know, he want to stay in Europe, so he would have went to Bayern Munich if they offered the same money. Absolutely. MK, good morning. Hello, Sal. If we're getting Ramos, okay, but I'd rather Osman or Guedes. I think we do rather that. I think every single one of us want that. I think we do. Let me just write this 1 second, guys. Got to respond. Yeah. I think we all want Gutierrez and Osman, my friend MK. I think we all want that. I think every single one of us here do. Morning, Sal. Watching from the States at work. Big up, Marky Mark. What's going on, my friend? Excited to see good attacking line. Almost as good as Rooney, Tevez, and Ronaldo. Oh, no. Breathe. That's the best front three I've ever seen. All depends on what kind of striker we get. Go, mate. No, big up, Marky Mark, though. Big up. I'd rather Mitoma and Cunha. Subjective. Huncho, good to see you. Huncho, good to see Huncho 11 in the stream. Good to see you. Asif. Exactly, Sal. The Glazinho solved the issue budget of not to sell the card. That is why to bring them down. Favouring to sell the best assets ain't going to work out. We will be new toffees. Look, guys, I hate the abuse that certain players are getting at this football club. I really do. We saw certain fan channels, right? Let me tell you something, guys, because I don't think you quite know. Bruno knows who I am. His family know who I am, right? I just want to let you clear that up, right? So when I talk about Bruno, I talk about Bruno on a love kind of thing. You know what I mean? On a level, right? He knows, I know. He knows where we went wrong last season. I know where we went wrong last season. But what I've seen from a number of fan channels, right? A number of content creators, I've seen abuse. I've seen slander. On not only on Bruno, but on his family as well. Things like that, which disgusts me. As Man United fan of 40 years almost, God blimey, as a Man United fan for that long, I think it's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. It's despicable behavior. You know, and they call themselves Man United fans. They're only here for clicks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can have your opinion about things and you can give your opinion constructively about football, what happens on a football pitch. But when it gets into a personal level, that's when I start going, no, that's not what I'm talking about. You know, it's just like Ruben Amorim with the Portuguese fraud thing, or with Erik ten Hag with the bald fraud and peanut head brigade thing, and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. And then these same people are vying for Sancho, celebrating Sancho. Sancho this, Sancho's going to cook. Watch next season, Sancho. When Sancho disrespected the club, when Sancho, right, when he was given 4 months off work, resorted to Twitter and left it on Twitter to put the club into disrepute, the fans, disrespecting the fans and the manager. And then after he leaves on loan to Chelsea, he's still going on and talking about Man United in a derogatory fashion, bad fashion. It's really bad. I don't understand some of this fan base. I really don't. But big up Bruno, and I wish Bruno the best of luck. And I hope, as people say, I want to show you something, guys, because people think things, right? People think certain things, but I'm going to show you something right now. I posted this a couple of times, but a few years ago, guys. You know what I mean? And I show you this because, you know, I believe in certain players, right? You know, and there's certain players who I think might be not good enough now, but I believe deserve a title. Bruno's one of those people I think deserve a title. Some people tell me that, oh, why do you think Bruno deserves a title? Because he's available, he gives his all, he fights for the badge, you know, and that is what it is at the end of the day. Just like other players, just like even I say the same to Garnacho. Garnacho might be egotistical maniac, but at the end of the day, he fights for the badge, you know, he gives his all, he's always available. Which is a lot more than I could say for Mr. Luke Shaw and Mason Mount and all types of these players that have been missing for months and months and months. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I would say. Coco, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Bruno not being sold mean we got money. Can't be used as an excuse anymore, Glinios. Man United got money. I've told you guys many times, guys, Man United got money and Man United will spend 200 million this summer. People are looking at me thinking, Sal, you're talking rubbish. We're not going to spend 200 million this summer. Sal, you're talking rubbish. And what, lo and behold, we've already spent 120 if we get Mbeumo through the door. So look, guys, we're going to spend about 200 million this summer. Players will leave this summer. It looks likely that Anthony's going to leave this summer. It looks likely that Rashford hopefully will leave, of course, this summer as well. So Luke Shaw needs to go as well. He needs to go. I don't know who we're going to get for him. Maybe we should sell him for 500,000 to some other club around the world, because at the end of the day, I don't think, he feigns injury. It's pretty obvious, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Tucker. What's going on, my friend? Me old Tucker. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sal, 72 likes. Thanks, everyone, for smashing those like buttons. Sal, do you think as much better players around than Bruno would perform better and not moan and wave his arms around when in bad? I think there is, Brugayo. I think there is. I personally don't think Bruno is a captain. I think Bruno's a great player, but I don't think he's a captain. And that is nothing wrong with that. I don't think he is. This is the reason Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was reluctant to give Bruno the captaincy ahead of Harry Maguire. Because Bruno's a hothead. Bruno loves the football club. He wants to win. And that's why he's throwing his arm around. But he doesn't channel that energy in the right places. Like, for example, Roy Keane will get frustrated. He will grab you by the collar. What are you doing? Come on. We're Manchester United. Come on. He wouldn't just roll around on the floor and hold his knee and things like that. That's the difference, right? But we're living in a different generation. But obviously, me and you, Grayo, we've seen it all. You know what I mean? At the end, we've seen it all. And, I just feel like maybe if we take the captaincy away from him, he might be a better player. But I just don't think they're going to take it away from him. This is the thing. I think it's Ruben Amorim. But, in life, as Ruben Amorim is doing, right? Ruben Amorim's living by the sword. He's going to die by the sword. If he's successful, I'm going to say, do you know what? That masterstroke on keeping Bruno. You know what I mean? What a guy. It's going to be like that, isn't it? But if he doesn't and Bruno's all over the place, we're going to say, well, it's his fault. You got nowhere to hide, Ruben. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to be like, isn't it? At the end of the day, sad as it may is. Goals for George. Brahma's stats for Portugal iffy. Look at his stats at Benfica, mate. Asif. Saw a video of Andre Herrera in which spilled tears and said United never offered me a new contract. He went to PSG and won the French league in a row. This is how we treat our... But yeah, we're very bad, Asif. Look what we've done to David De Gea, mate. I hope now that things have changed. But you know what I would say, Asif, my bro? You know what I would say? Is that I say some of the fans are to blame as well. I think some of those fans, the abuse that David De Gea got, before he left the club, 2 times player of the season, a goalkeeper, 2 times player of the season, and Herrera as well. We gave David De Gea a contract and then we retracted the contract. It was a disgrace. That is not how Manchester United should act. It was disgraceful. Absolutely. Yale, Yale's a good second choice if we do not get it. Thank you, Yale. You know your stuff, my friend. Big up, my guy. Absolutely agree with you there. They have to spend. There is no excuse. We do not want money from your Sal, they said. They have to spend this no excuse. Absolutely. There we go. Big up, Natty. Sal, do you mean the happy wife is a happy life? I don't get it. Why would someone kick the fortunes? His wife was the reason, Asif, that he loves his wife. And you know what? Happy, as you said there, Asif, happy wife, happy life. I don't do anything my wife doesn't want to do. Some people say she wears the trousers, but I don't care. I love my wife and I want her to be happy. At the end of the day, I can live under the trenches. I can live in the mud hut. It doesn't matter. I'm a man. I can do that. But looking after my wife is imperative and making sure my wife and family are cool. And that is the most important thing. Absolutely. And I understand that with Bruno. It's not a bad thing. Abuse on Bruno's family is some nasty word. I saw some abuse, man. I had to block a few people on my Twitter feed. I wrote a tweet about it, guys. And I've seen a lot of anger, in regards to the Bruno thing. So, guys, if I share this, I shared something a few years ago in regards to, let me just write this 1 second. Let me just get this up. So I shared something a few years ago, right? About this, right? So let's get this up. So basically, It's a video. It's a tweet about Bruno Fernandes, right? It's a tweet. Look what I wrote on this tweet. Right. This is Bruno Fernandes when he first signed for Man United, right? Okay. Let me just get rid of that. Right. Throwback, Bruno Fernandes' first training session with United. As a fan of nearly 40 years, it's very easy for an ex-player to criticize when they have when they were fortunate to play at a time of stability. I don't think Bruno is perfect, but if one guy deserves a Premier League trophy, it's him. That's what I read a few years ago, guys. I read that a few years ago, you know? And I still believe that. I don't change my notion on that. You know, if Man United still go out and buy players, I'm happy. You know what I mean? We still need to go play. We need to still build a team. I'm happy with that. We still need to build a team, you know? And that's important as well. You know, that's important as well. We still need to build a team. Yale, how quickly people forget that if it was not for Bruno last season, would have most likely been in the Championship. I don't agree with that, Yale. No, I don't. I don't agree with that. That's a sensationist thing. We would have built a team and it would have been that. We wouldn't have got down to the Championship. It's a lie. We might have got higher. Who knows? It is disgusting to treat people like this. I agree, Natty. Absolutely. As how Sancho, freedom fighter, turned out to be in jail at the end. Freedom comment, remember. Asif, you know, what I would say about Sancho, he's absolutely embarrassed himself in regards to football. No one wants him. Who said it, you know? Someone said something about no one wants him. And no one wants him. Chelsea literally paid you to come back to Man United. How does that make you feel? You know, you didn't take a pay cut. You didn't take a pay cut, right? You hate Man United so much, but you didn't take a pay cut. What does that tell me? It tells me, Sancho, that you are a mercenary. There's links with Sancho and Everton. He may go on loan to Everton, but obviously the money side of the wages is a problem. I don't think anyone's going to buy Sancho at the moment. The only way I could see a way out for Sancho is if Sancho goes to Saudi Arabia. You see, this is the thing. This is the thing I'm talking about. People talk about Bruno, who gives his all every single game, right? But then people want to praise Sancho. I don't understand that. Is it something more sinister going on here? What's going on? Because I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. The way Sancho treated Manchester United, and then you got some clowns who are backing him up. You know, I posted a picture of him training, and he was giving these half-hearted press-ups and stuff like that. And I think it was Saeed and Nuruddin were attacking me, saying, you shouldn't be saying that about Sancho. This is wrong. La, 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 you know? And I said, no, mate. Every little detail, small detail matters, you know, at the end of the day. UK Darren. Bruno loves Man United. Sancho can fuck up. Absolutely, Darren. Love that, my guy. Straight to the point, my guy. Absolutely. Bruno played by Mbeumo will work. Mbeumo cancels out a few of Bruno's flaws. Most of the fan channels you talk about cannot see that. They do not understand football. They don't, mate. Because the problem, Yale, you're absolutely right. Bruno playing in number 8 has his flaws. But as you said there, with Cunha and Mbeumo in front of him, he's not going to have to be doing all that business now, is he? He can get that ball, right, and pass it to Mbeumo, and he can run. You know, he can get that ball, control it, pass it to Cunha. You know what I mean? He can do that. And then when the time is right, he can reserve his energy and he can go forward. People don't understand this. They look at football in a very, very simplistic way. You know what I mean? They don't understand that. You know, what I'm looking forward to seeing is an attacking Manchester United. A Manchester United with attacking prowess. You know what I mean? And an ascendancy to go forward. Because we're going to get that. Ahmad, Bruno, Mbeumo, Cunha, you know, and whoever we have up front. Imagine we had Gutierrez up front. Imagine we had Osimhen up front. Imagine we had someone like that as well. It'd be absolutely incredible, wouldn't it? Madness. Big up Hedoro. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thank you so much. If Amram does not sub Bruno, if he is not playing badly, Amram will be sacked. Look, guys, you know what I would say is that you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that is it. I back Amram. I hope Amram does well. I back Bruno. I hope Bruno does well. And I hope every single one of those players do well. Even players I doubt, right? Even players I doubt, I hope they do well. I really do. I hope they do well. Big up, Mark. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Dalot and Diego right back line next season. Mazza can play. Diego Leon is a left back, Asif, not a right back. Bruno only works in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, and I wouldn't trust Dalot again. You know, I mean, I don't think he's good enough as much as he works hard. 4-3-3 or 4-4-2-1. We need wing backs for that system. The system won't work without wing backs. Bruno was no discipline and has stat padder, extremely selfish. Let's see how we will play next season. That's all we got to do, Doro Hedoro. That's all we got to do. It's wait and see what happens next season. Moaning and complaining, it won't get anywhere, will it? You know, at the end of the day. Big up, Huncho. Bruno only works in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 system. Let's see. Forget about Ramos. We only want good Gutierrez. I hope we get him. I do hope so, Mark. I really do hope we get him. Sergio Romero as well. Better goalkeeper than anyone we have currently. I agree, Dylan. Never put a foot wrong. Gutierrez, Edison, and Mbeumo, Cunha. Some are great. Oh, bruv. That would be amazing, Mark. That would be amazing. You know, at the end of the day. That would be amazing. Goals for George, the guy who has the contacts behind the scenes. Rashford and Sancho will stay at United to run down there. Who's your contact, mate? How do you know that, George? Do you really know that? Is that going to happen? It might happen, but it might not happen, George. Negative, George. Bruno is a cam CM that works well with a playmaker, but not as a main attacker, in my opinion. Big up PLJ. Hope you're doing well. Good comment, my friend. Big up Hisham. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again, of course. Doro. When Bruno plays as an 8, he will leave his position and go everywhere. And he was responsible for the goal against Tottenham in the Europa League. He was responsible for the goal. We're not going to lie about that. But with Mbeumo and with Cunha as the attackers now, maybe we can compensate for the areas that Bruno was going on the pitch. He was drifting off on the pitch. But maybe he felt obliged to do that because obviously he had to cover a lot of ground. The players weren't doing their job. But maybe now that we got Mbeumo and Cunha, it might work better. I mean, let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. Natty, how will Sancho will go if he did not accept lower price? He's going to have to go on loan or Saudi Arabia. I would love it if we could get Donnarumma. He has a year left. He wants to play Champions League, Mark. I love him as well, mate. I love him as well. I've always wanted Donnarumma. Before he went to PSG, I wanted Donnarumma. He's a fantastic player. And I think we missed the boat on that one. He wants Champions League football, unfortunately. And I mean, you never know, but I don't think we're going to get him. I mean, it does look like he's going to leave PSG. He did kind of hint that he's going to leave PSG. Philip, we are signing players who want to play United. Ruben has the pool. Players like Bruno, Euro, Cunha, and Mbeumo are leaders, workhorses, and ballers. Gyökeres is coming to 100%. I'm all over him. Big up, Philip. Lovely comment, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Natty, I love that good comment. Why? It's not like Goals for George who writes negativity every single day. Why do you not scout midfield players from France? We do. We got Kamara on our transfer wish list. I've been speaking about Akalush. You know about him from Monaco as well. You know, I've been speaking about him as well. Doro Hidoro. We need to win 100 million CDM. That's where we have lacked for 10 years. There you go. Big up, Doro. Thank you for joining, my friend. Good comments. Bruno is the spine of United's attack. He works well in the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3. If he plays in a 3-4-2-1, we will not do great as he plays like the spine of United. Good comment, PLG. Good point. Bruno is basically the spine of United's team. There you go. Guys, there you go. Sancho is not a bad footballer. Eric Fordhag, the bad coach, in my opinion. Doro, Sancho is a bad footballer. So, Ragnick was wrong. Solskjaer was wrong. Right? Ten Hag was wrong. Yeah? The Borussia Dortmund coach said he doesn't train well. You know? So now Amorim is wrong as well. No. He's a lazy, good-for-nothing trash. Right? At the end of the day. And don't be deceived by 3 goals and 4 assists last season. He had a 6 out of 10 last season. Right? And that's what he had. He's not good enough. Bald fraud, all this fraud, we don't have it on this. He's not a bad coach because he won. He's obviously not because he won 2 trophies at Man United and came 3rd in the league, right? Whatever people think about that, we don't do frauds and bald frauds. We're not side TV, you know what I mean? So that's not true. Sancho is not good enough for Man United. Simple as that. Lazy, lethargic, attitude problem. I don't care if he's got all the talent in the world. So did Ravel Morrison. You know, but if you don't train hard and you don't work hard, You're not going to be that player. Sorry, mate. Mark, Sancho must fuck off and the Martins. Absolutely, mate. I agree with that. Not quite that extent, but yeah. At the end, Sal, Bruno kept a pinky finger promise. His numbers rose since United joined United. If it continues this way, I don't care about any pinky fingers with that idiot on social media. Stupid thing to do, honest to God. Silly things. Acid. I don't look at baby stuff, mate. Absolutely. 100% Kenny. Bruno is a very limited footballer. We need a dribbler with good technical midfielder. Did watch how Vitinha played. Well, if I speak, mate. Did you say PSG hitman? Yeah. He is a hitman. 9 goals for Portugal. Look at his record in his career, mate. Congratulations, Sal. People still call fraud here. Absolutely, mate. People don't look at the bigger picture, Asif. As you said earlier about the Glazers. People don't look at the bigger picture here. People are not looking at above and the culture at the football club. Every single manager coming has been touted as one of the best managers in the world at the time. Up-and-coming managers in the world. And then we're still blaming the manager. It's unreal. People just crazy. Kazi, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Kazi, hope you're doing good. Good to see you. We need a player like Hato, the Ajax defender, yeah? He could be trained as a wing-back since he already played as left centre-back. He can also play midfield, PSG. Mr. Hato, Jared Hato, who I've mentioned on the show quite a few times, PSG. He plays for Ajax, one of the best up-and-coming left wing-backs, left full-backs, defensive midfielders, centre-backs in world football. Very good. People don't know this, PSG, but thank you for bringing him into the show again. Thank you, mate. Is it disrespecting to say he's a limited midfielder? Bruno, no, it's not disrespectful, mate. It's not disrespectful. Oyo Daily, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. You are always a great podcast to watch. Your analysis is such a top-notch, and it's a blessing to have you as a Man United blood and true. We are going to bring back the good old days. My guy, Oyo Daily, thank you so much for the lovely comment, my friend. Really appreciate that comment. Same to you, man. I want good people in this community. I've got a great community building. They're like a family to me, and you like a family to me. This is what it's like at the end of the day. We don't agree with anything, but life is not about agreeing with everything. You know what I mean? As long as we come to a middle ground and we all want what's best for Man United, ultimately, we want a successful Man United. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want a successful Man United. Each and every one of us would 100% be wrong in our opinions as long as there's a successful Man United at the end of the day. Big up, my friend Ole Daly. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Absolutely. Huncho. Ahmad is not a wingback. We need to look at Van der Sar on Monaco. Huncho, good comment, mate. Thank you, mate. I don't believe that Ahmed is a wing-back. He's not positionally, defensively aware. He isn't. And I think that's why we have to go over Wesley or Van der Sar. Absolutely. Van der Sar's my favourite. Been speaking about Van der Sar a long time. Reminds me of Carfu. Very good player. Been speaking about him quite. Very, very good player. Did Ahmed and Mbeumo work together? When? Mbeumo, who did he play for? He might have done. I need to look at that. Which Kamara? But I do know that Musa of Man United's youth team and Lamine Yamal played to each other. Which Kamara are you talking about, Sal? The one for Monaco, my bro. The one for Monaco. Camara, mate. Morgan, good morning, Morgan TMDK. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We'll probably get Paulino on loan from Bel. He's not bad. He's not bad. There you go. He's a British version of Pogba. At least Pogba won things. At least Pogba won a World Cup and stuff. Proper trophies. You know what I mean? Not the Conference League. He's a proper guy. You know what I mean? Good player, Huncho. Rated him even when he was at Aston Villa. Man United could quite possibly do a deal with him, but it has gone quiet in regards to the Douglas Luiz thing at the moment. But we were interested in Huncho for quite a while. It has gone quiet though. But you know what? What I would say that we got to the 10th of this month to do something. Hopefully we squeeze in Mbeumo through the door until the 10th, and then the transfer window opens again. I think in July. Sancho has a talent, but he doesn't work hard. There's literally multiple videos of him watching TV all the time. Yeah. Talent is only a small part of football. Talent can only take you so far. Effort, desire, will to win brings you further. Why did we win a treble? Because of talent. Do you think Wes Brown is the most talented wing back in the world? You know, exactly. Do you think Ronnie Johnson was the best defender in the world? Do you think, you know, at the end of this, let's be real here, you know, at the end of the day, let's be real. We had a team of workhorses who worked for the badge, who fought for the badge, who fight for the badge. You think David May was one of the best defenders in the world? There you go. You know, talent only takes you so far in this game. Kadeem, what's going on, my friend? Sancho, good player, says Kadeem. Is he a Chelsea fan? Sal, Amram has publicly admitted he wants Bruno to stay. Yep, Erik ten Hag played him continuously. Ole brought him in. He still has years in him. United never cash unless the player wants to leave. Yeah, well, the player wanted to leave if he had an offer from Europe. He did say that. Sancho, a dosser. He is a dosser, Carl. Big up. Leave Erik ten Hag alone. He is not here. Erik rent-free in the head. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those people don't admit that they were wrong when they wanted Erik ten Hag sacked, because at the end of the day, what I said before Erik ten Hag was sacked is that it's not going to improve because we still got a cultural problem at the football club. Yale looks very good. He has a rating of 7.3 3 years in a row. He is only 23 years old. Absolutely, Yale. People just want to bring the rubbish. You know what I mean? Brentford want to finesse United and Mbeumo deal. Yeah, they are effects, especially the fact that they're unhappy with us at the moment as well, the way we've been going on. Smasher Lights, thank you so much, Natty. Big up yourself. Big up, Natty. Doro Hedoro. Cunha and Mbeumo striker, CDM and a goalkeeper. Bruno stays is good for PR and shirt sales, and many people like Bruno. So if Mbeumo, this will get top 4. I think so. Big up, Doro. Pep was right to ship Sancho. Not only him, he knew he wasn't a team player. He never delivered. He failed at Dortmund in the second innings, and even Dortmund rejected to buy him back. Their brother, of course, Asif, isn't it? He knows his career's over. Absolutely. Anyone who says he's a good player really has an agenda. You know, how much this cost Douglas Luiz? I've done about 30, 40 million, probably. Sal, would you take Ramos from Peter Green? I would, Daniel. I would. If we don't get Gutierrez and Osimhen, I don't mind Ramos. I really don't. I don't mind Ramos. If we get Gutierrez, or if we don't get Gutierrez or Osimhen, I wouldn't mind him. Asif, Sancho just wants to earn as much as he can. That's why he's already compromised with wages. Absolutely, mate. He's a mercenary. It's pretty obvious, and people are being proved wrong. That's why they're getting defensive. The problem with this day and age, this generation, is that they never can admit they're wrong. They never could say that I was wrong about Sancho. I was wrong about Ten Hag. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about that. They can never say that. They always have to carry on their bitterness and their anger and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's, for example, you know what I mean? If a Bruno hater was walking in the street and Bruno walked down the street, they'll start hugging him and saying, "Can I have your autograph and picture?" Darren, Carl, did you say mean tosser? Yeah. Dosser's a good one. Dosser's a word as well, mate. Darren. Dosser's a one who stands around and relaxes and takes it easy. That's called a dosser, mate. East End slang, my guy. Hancho, Sanderberg, Berber, and Bruno is the dream midfield for me. There you go, Hancho. That's subjective, of course. Big up. Sanderberg is a top player. We wanted him last summer, didn't we? Didn't he go to Burnley? Brighton won't sell Baleba. Well, they might do for a lot of money. They are like that, ain't they? If Sancho doesn't want to play for us, then he should F off. Play Sunday League if you don't want it. He wants money, mate. He doesn't want to play. He just wants the money. He just wants the sweet stuff. You know what I mean? He wants the Skrilla. That's all he wants at the end of the day. Let me see this. All right, that's it. We combine them both, 150 million tax. There we go, my guy, Huncho. But there you go, guys. Look, you know what? Football's subjective. And what I would say is that the players that are currently playing for Man United, my main aim for you to do is, whether you like them or not, support them. Because criticizing them and slandering them is not going to do anything for you. Ruben Amorim will be the manager next season. Support Ruben Amorim. Right? Don't jump on social media and start giving it, screaming and shouting and stuff like that. You know what? It really doesn't work, really. I mean, it defeats the point of having a successful football team, because that is ultimately what we want at the end of the day. Whether you like a player or not, we are not about individual players. We are about Manchester United. If Ruben Amorim wants to keep Bruno, if Ruben Amorim wants to keep Rasmus, if Ruben Amorim wants to keep any player in that football team, we support Ruben Amorim, because at the end of the day, a manager lives and dies by his decisions, and that is the way it is. We're always going to have our opinions. We're always going to have, our preferences in regards to players Who should play? Who shouldn't play? You know? But all this fraud business, you know, all this stuff that comes out of the mouths of very illiterate people, it just doesn't really work in regards to searching for a successful football club. Get behind the team. Get behind the players, because now it's a new season. A lot of those players don't deserve another chance. Of course they don't. A lot of them don't deserve it. A lot of them, we came 15th, our worst league position in we've ever seen. You know what I mean? Most of us as Man United fans. Worse than the 1974, because I believe that 1974 team would have beat this football team. But at the end of the day, we've got a chance to make something right. The great thing about football is that we got a chance to make something right. We got a chance to wrong the rights, you know? And as long as we wrong the rights, you never know what can happen next season. You never know. So get behind it, and let's get behind this project. Absolutely. Big up, everyone. Absolutely. Let's read. Where was I? Yeah. Just trying to find out where I was. Lost where I was. Sander Berger, top player. He's a good player. Defensive midfielder, good player, of course. Yeah, I agree. Morgan, United to sign Bolka from Nice, Uma Soleil from Udinese. Spoke about him yesterday, Uma Soleil. Spoke about him months ago, Morgan. Quite cheap as well, yeah. They want him. Man United are interested in Mr. Soleil. It sounds like an ice cream. Why do they not rip his contract? Because he has to pay off his contract, Natty. And it costs a lot of money. Calvin Bassey Fulham is Calvin Bassey. Yeah, good player. Another Premier League player, of course. Absolutely. Daily. Sal, please, how true is this? I had a news source this morning that Mbeumo is demanding for a salary of 250 plus this with me. Is it true or false? Because I don't believe this. Don't believe everything you hear, Olade. He will earn about, I'm believing, 190,000 a week, something like that. It's not quite 250. The media like to over exaggerate things, of course, guys, at the end of the day. Brandon Facts, absolutely. Asif, I salute McTominay, who left, never complained publicly, now top player at Serie A. He knew his strengths, he proved the way. Absolutely, Asif. If only every player had his attitude, eh? Bruno Fernandes leaving was out of Liverpool's Coutinho moment, but now it's gone. But I hope Man United board has some solution. Big up, mate. Big up. Respect your opinion, Doro Huro. The real problem is the midfield, which is the world player. I mean, the biggest problem at Man United is the goals, mate. We don't score goals. That's the biggest problem at Man United. At the end of the day. How good is Wesley? Very good. Very, very good. Cheap as well, Dylan. Man City want him. Amongst Zenit St. Petersburg have been after him as well. So there's quite a few clubs after him as well, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate every single one of you. I'm off now. Of course, gone over time. But guys, thank you so much. I will be back later on for Chatterbox, guys. And guys, please don't forget to smash the like on the video. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Really appreciate every single one of you guys. Been a great show, great chat. Have a great day, everyone. And guys, I'll see you later on for Chatterbox, guys. And also put your notifications on. Big up everyone, the legends, of course, in the chat. And also, don't forget to put your notifications on. So when I do go live, you will know about it, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, and I'll see you later. Through the window. Take it easy. Peace.